I mean, being a new team, I'm not. I would assume he'd want to be, as quickly as he can to get kind of, up to speed with everything, and also on the same page as his receivers, young receivers that are probably there, So, I probably give him more credit than you do. So I'm not surprised to see him.
That's your guy. That's your guy. I do have to say though, I'm a man that can admit when I'm wrong. Just like I do when we have losses. I can eat crow. I'm really impressed with how he has been there for the young receivers so far. I mean, he's been there every day. He's at Knicks games. I mean, now don't get me wrong. The guy's eating the attention up.
Oh, he loves it. Yeah.
He just, that poor guy. All of his pants got a permanent bulge from the hard on he's got with all the attention, because that's what he lives for. But with that being said, I do have to say I am impressed by Aaron Rodgers.
On this episode of Bustin' Chops and Calling Shots, producer AJ is in the chair for Chop while he is out. So John and I talk all things NBA playoffs. We talk about the Denver Nuggets, Boston Celtics, and Miami Heat that are still in the mix. We also talk about MLB standings. We go through all the conference and division standings right now and kind of where John is predicting the division leaders will be and who will win those divisions. We also talk a little bit about NHL playoffs and the Stanley Cup playoffs. Who's left? What do we see happening for the Stanley Cup? And then we jump into some off-season NFL. So we talk about OTAs going on right now, Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, and sort of all things NFC, where John sees things as they are. And then after that, of course, he jumps into his betting corner.
Who said anything about gambling? It's not gambling when you know you're going to win.
I don't bet. What do you mean you don't bet? I mean, I don't bet.
You're listening to Bustin' Chops and Calling Shots.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Bustin' Chops, Calling Shots. Producer AJ in the chair for Chop, who's not with us tonight. He's working his butt off right now on a project, and he just couldn't pull away. So you know what, John and I decided we're just gonna figure this thing out. So
do the damn thing.
We're just gonna do the damn thing. However we do it, we will do it. So I'm in the chair tonight, but of course we have John, who not only is a Cal Ripken of Bustin' Chops, Calling Shots, but of his new show, Break the Board. He is committed. He is doing it consistently on a daily basis. He literally is the Cal Ripken of this show. John, how you doing, buddy?
Good, man. Good. Hanging in here on a Thursday afternoon. So
yeah.
These guys will get a day later, but that's all right. Better late than never. That's what I always told all my dates. But it's good, man. Daily show's going good. Softball's going good with the girls. I had this big birthday party.
Yeah. How did it
Sunday, go? I don't know. Did I send you the pictures of this thing?
No, but you told me that it looked like Michael Jackson's.
Oh, yeah. Michael Jackson was shedding tears up in heaven, just looking down saying it's like Never Neverland Part 2. You know what I mean?
Ponies and...
Minus.
Is there a pony?
Yeah, there's pony, had a giraffe. Couldn't get an elephant, So, but yeah, it was good, man. They all had a good time. So it was good stuff.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, it's, we're just over here in Middle Tennessee doing, not birthdays necessarily. Although my son did just have his 7th birthday, yesterday. Yeah. No, day before yesterday. So,
okay. So Lydia's only a year older than him.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
So, we didn't really do anything crazy, but, we did have some family members in town. So we just kind of had a little birthday thing, and, every day's a party around here, when it gets this hot, and we're just always in the backyard in the pool. And so we're just, we're just doing the best we can. So,
you got a pool and all, you're all set up.
Yeah. We got one of those like little redneck kind of, half in, half out of the ground kind of things, but it's water, and and the kids love it, and it keeps us, it keeps us cool in the summer. So
there you go.
Yeah. So we're excited to bring this show to you guys tonight. And just to let you know, we're going to do things a little bit differently moving forward. Not terribly different. I mean, I think with John doing the daily show, you're going to get a lot more of your sports betting information there. And not to say we're not going to talk about sports betting on these shows, but we are just going to keep it a little bit lighter and not so information heavy, and literally just be able to talk about some of the happenings in the sports world and just kind of have fun. And as you guys probably figured out, like John and Josh pay a lot more attention to sports than I do. I'm kind of selective on what I listen to and what I watch. So we'll see how it goes when we're all kind of bantering back and forth, because I think we all bring a unique perspective. So Bustin' Chops, calling shots, moving forward. This is going to be a little bit more fun. We're going to bring back the Q&As, actually, which we're really excited about. So I think that'll be really cool. We'll add some different elements to the show too. So, there will be some gambling and sports betting stuff John will surely talk about. We'll still have John's betting corner at the end of every show. But you're going to get most of the meat of that sports gambling advice on the daily show. So if that's really what you're here for, like, that's definitely, you want to check those out as well. And then you can show up to Bustin' Chops, calling shots. Maybe we start making this a live thing. Maybe we start, opening a chat on the side, and we can start talking to people back and forth and kind of make it more of that, kind of weekly kind of get together, if you will. So just so everyone knows, that's kind of the plan moving forward. Does that sound about right, John? I mean, am I kind of, yeah.
Yeah, man, I love the idea about the live feed with the chat and people can get involved, because I mean, I feel so misunderstood by you and Chop on here. It would be good to get the list of people that understand me and understand where I'm coming from. You know what I mean?
Well,
I just need to be loved. Yeah. You know what I mean? I need to be held and caressed.
Well, be careful what you wish for. I don't know if you're going to get the backing
for all
that
you
you're
Chester the molesters out there, calm down. I'm not referring to you.
Yeah. All right. Let's hop into let's take care of a little housekeeping before we start the show. Just so you guys know, this show is sponsored by betonline.ag. It's your number one source for all of your basketball info, stats, news, and scores. You can get the latest odds and lines, including the latest player reports for this year's pro basketball playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters this season, as we have you covered for all sports wagering needs. Basketball, MLB, NHL, hockey, right, and to UFC and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games. So you can play right from your home. That sounds kind of cool. I could get down with some blackjack right from my phone.
Oh my gosh, you and Chop in these card games. Though, you know what? I can't criticize you because right now I can't pick a winner with tomorrow's newspaper these past 2 months.
Yeah, maybe I have better luck than you. So, guys, if you're interested, head over to the website today and use your mobile device and to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code that we have, which is Believe, BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. So, bet online where the game starts. And also, guys, just so you know, if you're listening to us on podcast, we do have the YouTube going as well. So make sure you check us out on youtube.com/@BCCS Sports. Actually recently changed. It's no longer Bustin' Chops, calling shots on the YouTube. So youtube.com/BCCS Sports. If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you guys so much. We put a lot of work into the YouTube, so I really appreciate that. But also head over to, Bustin' Chops, calling shots, and subscribe on your podcast as well. And of course, you can always check us out on the socials on Instagram and Facebook. It's Bustin' Chops, calling shots, and TikTok and Twitter is going to be @BCCS Sports. So, John, what do we got for tonight? We got a kind of a slate of just, on-season and off-season stuff, NHL, NBA, got some off-season NFL. What do you want to jump into first?
Well, I think we should go to the NBA because right now, and again, by the time the guys listen to this, the game will obviously be over, but I'm watching it in real time right now with the Boston Celtics in the third quarter up 17 here in Game 5. Looking to go make this thing 3-2. And I really thought, and I still think, I just want to preface what I'm saying, I still think Miami finishes this thing in Game 6.
Okay.
But I will say, at some point in time, somebody's going to come back from 3-0. It's 149. It's never happened in the NBA. It's going to happen. Now, I don't think it happens with this team. I think Boston is too inconsistent, even though I'm a diehard fan. I think Spoelstra is a way better coach than, Mazzulla. But I tell you what, I think Miami, this game doesn't surprise me, right? That Boston's beating them like this.
Yep.
But let's just travel down the yellow brick road. If Boston were to win Game 6 in Miami, what's your feelings on Game 7 now? I mean, do you feel like Boston just rolls them in Game 7 at home? I mean, I don't feel that way. Coming into this, Boston was 10 wins, 11 losses in the playoffs at home. Horrific.
Yep. So you're saying if they win tonight, right? So Game 5 is tonight, right? So And then if they win game 6, you think
game 6 would be Saturday night.
Right. And you're asking if I think they have a shot at coming back from that 0-3 deficit, essentially. I don't know.
Well, I don't think they do. I'm just saying they're obviously going to win this game 5 and be down 3-2. I'm just saying, do you feel like Miami, if they're going to win the series, have to close it out in game 6 in Miami? Like, do you feel if it comes back to Boston for a game 7, that Boston just automatically is going to beat the snot out of them? Yeah.
I mean, obviously you don't want that type of momentum going into that game 7 if the Heat end up losing that game. Although we have seen the Heat be a lot more effective at home, I feel like that crowd is it's nothing near like a Golden State or something like that, but certainly that crowd is like very easy electrified, especially when Jimmy Butler like gets going and stuff. Like they are just like, they're probably one of the better atmospheres right now in the NBA. So you certainly want to be able to leverage that in game 6, but do I think if they go into game 7, back to Boston, does Miami not have a chance? I think they still do. And quite simply, his name's Jimmy Butler. I mean, I just feel like this dude, he can take over a game in a second. And at any one of these games, he could do what he's been doing and the series is over. And I think that's probably going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen tonight or tomorrow or on Saturday, but I think any of the next 3 games, that's probably going to happen. And Boston's just put themselves in too big a hole at this point.
Yeah. All right. I just want to a lot of people are saying like, I get it. Boston may have the more talent. I don't think they're the better team. I mean, this has been the Eastern Conference Finals 3 of the last 4 years, and barring a 3-point shot and Jimmy Butler getting hurt last year, maybe Miami creeps past them. Now, I think Boston was much better with Udoka as the coach last year. But yeah, I don't know if I buy into what everybody else is saying. Like if it gets back to Boston for a game 7, Boston's going to win the series because they've been horrific at home the past 2 years.
Right.
I mean, this win tonight will make them 500 at home in the playoffs the past 2 years, 11-11. That's not exactly setting the world on fire.
No, yeah. Like you said, I mean, Miami's just a better coach team. Spoelstra's just shown year over year that he's one of the better coaches in the NBA, and that he deserves to be where he's at. I think early on in his career, a lot of people were questioning that hire. People were questioning him. Throughout a lot of the first couple of years, but man, he just consistently, I think he's lockstep in with the leadership and the ownership of the organization, and they just have their guy. So kudos to him for leading that team for sure.
Let me ask you this now. Now, if Boston, let's say they're obviously going to win tonight, but they lose in game 6. Is Missoula safe because he won 2 in a row?
I think they might be. I mean, I know you're more on the side of like he needs to be gone.
Oh, burn him at the stakes.
Yeah.
I mean, tie a chain around his feet on a rock on the other end and throw it in the middle of the Pacific.
Yeah. And I was listening to your show the other day too, and you were talking about, that dynamic there, with, Stevens, right? And I think it all comes down to if Stevens is still around, then he might be safe. But if the ownership decides to take a different turn completely, then they're probably both gone. I can get down with that. But I think it just depends. Like, I think there's a lot of times we think coaches or GMs, or even quarterbacks, it's like that was a horrific year that just can't survive it. And they do kind of get one more year grace period. So I don't know. It could be, but I think you're right. He needs to be gone.
Now they're paying 2 guys $300 million apiece.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, and look, I think Brown and Tatum are great, but that's a lot of cabbage.
Yeah.
And it hasn't produced a championship yet.
Right.
There's got to be some realistic. And look, I can make the argument, me, I'm a Duke fan. I love Tatum. I could make the argument that Jaylen Brown might be a little bit more consistent and reliable than Tatum.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
he's definitely better defensively. I mean, he can score 25, 30 in plenty of games. I mean, I think they got a lot of questions, and I don't think there's any clear answers like, yeah, this is what we have to do. Like, because even as Brad Stevens' as coach, it's not like he was uber successful.
Right.
Like, he was successful, but they didn't get to a finals.
Right. Yeah. I mean, obviously Tatum had that one big game and that, was really impressive, but I agree. Brown has been you're getting a little more juice and a little more juice out of that squeeze for sure. As far as like both sides of the court, every game I tune into, he's just, he's making plays and Tatum is either hot or cold. Right. And so,
it's either 40 or 4.
Right. Exactly. So, I think, and I know we're going to talk about the Lakers too and that disaster. Well, obviously disaster.
Oh my gosh.
There was bright spots, but I mean, we're going to talk about that. But man, how cool would it have been to see like a Celtics Lakers thing, and we're going to get probably the exact opposite. And I'm just wondering like what that's going to do to viewership, because I feel like this has been a pretty good playoff. So I really haven't been this engaged, certainly not since the bubble year. And I couldn't tell you before that when it was I was really this engaged, but it's been a great playoffs. A lot of really watchable games and a lot of great storylines. Yeah. And it would have just been perfect to have that Lakers Celtics thing at the end. And now it's kind of like, it's not that, Denver and the Heat or
that's going to be an amazing series.
It'll be great, but it's like, it's just, I feel like it won't have like the same amount of attention, right, from people like watching, me maybe included.
Well, of course, because still on the worldwide leader, all they're talking about is the Lakers.
Yeah.
I mean, they barely even talked about the freaking Celtics Heat game tonight. I mean, all the talk is about LeBron retiring, which let's just get something straight. LeBron ain't retiring.
I don't see how he can.
He is not retiring. He already said he wanted to play with his son. The only thing I see LeBron doing is having this foot surgery and maybe sitting out almost the entire year. Okay?
Oh, yeah?
To try to save some legs and come back close to the playoffs. But again, can the Lakers survive that with Anthony Davis? Now, they got questions. Obviously, I don't bring D'Angelo Russell back at $30 million a year. But, if they want to re-sign Reeves and Hachimura, then you probably got to look at like a Fred VanVleet. Or a Kyle Kuzma, bringing him back, or, people keep saying Kyrie. I just don't see how that works. I mean, I don't even think LeBron can control that guy. That guy is a cancer and a disaster and has been overrated his absolute whole career.
Yeah.
So I think the Lakers really overachieved. I really do.
They did. Yeah. I mean, it's really impressive.
I agree with why blow it up? Bring Austin Reeves back, right? Bring Hachimura back. Okay, get rid of Russell. That frees up $30 million cap. Some of that you're going to lose signing Reeves and Hachimura.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a Fred VanVleet. Look, if your starting five is Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Hachimura, Reeves, VanVleet, and you got Schroeder coming off the bench, Alani Walker. Now, I still think they need to find another one or two big men. Look, I wouldn't be opposed to him bringing back Dwight Howard. And you're like, he's washed up. He is washed up. But can the guy give you 10 good minutes of a game of shot blocking and rebounding? You don't need the guy to score any, right? Yeah, I think they need 2 junkyard dogs to rebound and play defense. Because if not, you're really relying on AD. And I mean, we all know you can't rely on AD. That's like, you can't do that. So,
yeah. It's like relying on a Volkswagen bus to get you across the country.
I mean, I don't think they should blow this thing up by no means. I think they got something good here going. And when I look around, okay, Denver's the cream of the crop, but the Lakers were in all 4 games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, do I see Phoenix making this huge jump to be better than the Lakers? Not really. I mean, yeah, you got KD and Booker they scored 40 each and still couldn't get by Denver.
Right.
I mean, they got to trade Ayton. They want him out of there. So, like, what does that team look like? Golden State, what are they going to do to get better?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're kind of like the Lakers. They're kind of boxed in. You kind of got to run it back and try to add a piece, or you got to blow the whole thing up.
Yeah. And that's what's so frustrating about, like, sort of watching the Lakers my whole life. And it seems like we've been in this situation, or they've been in this situation with the Lakers organization, where it's kind of like you've basically mortgaged your future at this point, like forever. All you can do now is like figure out like what big stars you can put together and like hope that they can gel. Like there's no way for you to like rebuild the organization now in a sort of like farm system, like bringing guys up and like, in a smart way. Like you've sort of, like you said, boxed yourselves into this situation where it's just like, we have no choice but to go out there and see what's on the market and figure out if that is even going to get us where we need to be.
Yeah.
Because like, even if you get a Van Fleet or bring Kuzma back, like, I don't know if that makes you better than Denver. Like Denver is like ridiculous, and they don't look like they're slowing down either. So it's just frustrating that when you have a team like the Lakers or the Yankees or, those types of teams where it's just like, this is who they are. It's about money. It's about who can we get. It's not about like, kind of like the Warriors were, 10 years ago or, 8 years ago, where it's like they built that team up from, a bunch of nobodies that were just like, that figured out how to play really, really well together. It's just like, there's no chance for anything like that, which is super frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't subscribe to the Kyrie thing. Do you?
Like that bringing him in LA would be the prescription?
Yeah.
No. No,
let's think about this. Who wants that cat? I mean, apparently Dallas is all about re-signing him.
I'm sure there's plenty of people that want him.
Really? Plenty of like contenders.
What? No, not contenders. No.
I think the only contender that makes sense, because he's already out apparently, with Harden leaving Philly, I think Kyrie in Philly can make sense.
Yeah. Because
Embiid isn't a closer, and Kyrie can get on these runs where he'll close a game, or at least that's what we've all been sold. Again, I wouldn't have him on my team, but it's not like there's a lot of places that it's not like there's a lot of places Philly can really go, right? Like if Harden walks. Now, if it had been a sign and trade with Harden, maybe you get Lillard over there. But I mean, Philly doesn't have a lot of options. I could see them getting in the Kyrie sweepstakes. But this whole thing about Kyrie possibly teaming up in Phoenix again with Durant, that just makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
He's already, flicked off the leprechaun there in Boston. So, I mean, nowhere really makes sense to me that's a contender. So I think he winds back up at Dallas, or like LeBron, as great as LeBron's been, him and Michael Jordan, they can definitely be compared in one way. They are not good at building teams.
Yeah. No.
They are not good at building teams. They are not good general managers. We're going to lose this Brewers game. I mean, yeesh. Anyway.
Is Michael Jordan trying to sell? Is that what I heard, or he's trying to get out of his stake?
Yeah. In the meantime, he just buys $3.5 million cars like he did yesterday.
Oh, really? I didn't know about it.
Yeah, he bought some car. It was, I don't know, $3.5 million. The only thing I could think of was a tank rolling around on 20-inch rims or something.
Yeah, Venom F5 Roadster, 300 mile per hour car. What? No way.
I mean, I didn't even know a car could cost that much.
3.5. This is crazy. Venom F5.
I've never even heard of who makes this thing. Is this like the hybrid of a Ford Pinto or what? What are we talking here?
It's a custom made car by Hennessy. You know who that is?
The liquor people.
Yeah. Also,
the cognacs.
Also something Jordan probably buys. But apparently he likes tequila. His Sincoro tequila is pretty good. So, Hennessy, he makes custom cars basically, but he'll like custom out like Ford Mustangs and stuff like that. Like he's like that, he's one of those guys who like, the Hennessy version, like that's like a Hennessy Mustang. Anyways, so it's like a custom made.
What could you possibly put in a car to make it worth $3.5 million, AJ?
I don't know, but it's a bespoke mid-engine hypercar engineered to exceed 300 miles per hour.
Why do you need to go that fast? I mean,
I have no idea.
Greatest basketball player of all time is going to wrap himself around a tree, for God's sake.
But that's faster than like direct cars. I mean, there's like funny cars that
NASCAR tops out at like 212.
Yeah. I mean, you have like the Top Fuel. I don't know if you watch any. My uncle used to drag us to these drag car shows. Top Fuel is like the top, and those are the ones that are like long and skinny. And those things only go like I don't want to misquote, 315 maybe or 350. But I mean, they're super fast. But this is crazy. Wow. Okay. Well, Michael Jordan, congratulations on your F5 Roadster.
We'll, still love you, MJ. You're still the GOAT, but I mean, God, be careful. Brake pedals on the left. Jesus.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, maybe it isn't, right? Maybe it's like handheld. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I absolutely, I don't know with Kyrie, Philadelphia may be a good fit. Where do you think Harden goes?
Apparently, it's all said and done. He's going back to Houston, which makes no sense. I mean, the nightclubs there will love him. They apparently, in two of the nightclubs there, one happens to be a very famous strip club, apparently. They have his jersey hanging from the rafters.
Oh.
So some of that must be their love for Harden. The other of it must be he must be a pretty regular customer there.
It could be part of their loyalty program, right? He spent enough money.
Yeah, he's had his card punched like you get at Lito's Pizza or Star. You know, every time you get a coffee, they punch. You got the little hole punch.
They don't do that anymore.
Takes his card out, they hole punch it.
Yeah. No, so Houston, okay, yeah. I mean, it'd be cool if maybe.
It makes no sense. They got all that young talent, and they're going to put him in there to teach him how to club right.
Well, I think, we're talking about players going back, back to Oklahoma City might be interesting, right? I mean, they have a pretty promising team they're building over there. And
they don't need to mess with that. They got young cats. They got draft picks. They got SGA. OKC is doing it right. OKC will be a really good team in 2 or 3 years. I mean, they already made the play-in. I mean, 2 or 3 years from they'll be the next Sacramento Kings.
Yeah. Like of this year, for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, NBA playoffs should be interesting. We'll see how things go. I mean, anything notable to say about Denver? I mean,
they're the best. They're going to win the title no matter who they play.
Yeah.
I mean, Jokic, I mean, look, dude, if you don't get excited watching how the Denver Nuggets play basketball, and I get it, it's just like when the Spurs had Duncan and all, it wasn't, they didn't have the flash but like, it was just beautiful basketball.
Yeah.
Denver plays beautiful basketball. And I really feel like they're the modern day Spurs. I don't think this is a 1-year run. They've been kind of sniffing it. I think we're going to see this Denver team after this year win another 1 or 2. I think they end up winning 3 titles over like a 6-7 year span here. I think they really do. I like the coach Malone, Murray and Jokic. You got your inside outside 1-2 punch. So you can just kind of keep, trading in and out some of the role players each year, right, that fit right. But I think Denver's here to stay. Now, that's not to say like they can't be beat. Again, the Lakers were in all 4 of these games, and it could have easily went the other way, right?
Yep.
But Denver's experience and all, didn't hurt them. So I think that LA's close. I think, again, LeBron's foot, I think that foot's more bothersome than we think. I mean, we already know he needs surgery, and at his age, anytime you start cutting on the body, right, it just changes things. So, but I still think the Lakers are right there. Look, the Suns, they need to figure out how to get role players around Durant and Booker.
Yep.
They need to get rid of Ayton and get rid of Chris Paul and try to get pieces for them, because those guys have too high salaries and neither one of them are good for the Suns. I mean, I like Chris Paul, but his career's over, and Ayton's really disappointed me because I think he's extremely talented, but apparently he's a lazy ass. So if the Suns can figure that part out, and then Golden State, I don't know where Golden State goes. You're going to have to trade Jordan Poole or Klay Thompson or both, or even a Wiggins. Like, they're going to have to say, okay, we got Looney, who they apparently really like, Draymond Green and Steph Curry, and everybody else is expendable. But my issue is, who do you go get? Now, if you want to sell me on, I wouldn't do this if I was the Celtics, but if you want to sell me on, I think it'd be great for Golden State, them trade Jordan Poole and Wiggins for Jaylen Brown. I think that's fantastic for Golden State. But I think Golden State needs to get rid of, I think they need to part ways while he still has value with Klay Thompson. I would keep Wiggins, but I would find a way. Let's flip Klay Thompson and flip Jordan Poole for another really good guard. They're probably really kicking themselves because when they drafted Wiseman, instead they could have drafted Anthony Edwards. I mean, can you imagine the Warriors with Anthony Edwards or the T-Wolves? I mean, dear God, him and Curry together would be scary. Right. So, but we'll see what happens, man. We'll see.
We shall see. We shall see. So let's talk about a little bit of the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. Not something I watched terribly closely, and apparently I shouldn't.
I ain't watched it. Wish I haven't bet it. Wish it, I wish all the ice in the rinks would melt. Right now it's 2-2 in Game 4. Stars, Knights, 10.5 to go. Knights looking to close them out. So Carolina has Panthers. The Florida Panthers have already closed out the Hurricanes, right? Yep, swept them to get
that broom out. And so with this potential win tonight, we could get another sweep. So what do we think about the final matchups of what this could be? I mean, if in fact oh shoot, my screen messed up. If we see the sweep tonight, the Knights.
Yeah. Well, even if they don't get the sweep tonight, the Stars aren't run off 4 in a row. This series is over. So it's going to be Knights and Panthers. And I guess for all of those reporters and networks that are going to cover the NHL finals, look, I don't want to hear you complain a darn bit. You get to go from Vegas to South Florida and back the whole series. So your life is going to be fantastic the 2 weeks of the Stanley Cup final. So you're just hoping this thing goes 6 or 7 games so you can be enjoying South Beach and Vegas.
Yes. Okay.
So, I mean, life is good.
For hockey.
Yeah, for hockey. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't want to hear about that Canada bull crap. Those teams blow. You got 2 warm weather teams getting her done.
What is it like? Is it the Jets or something that are like so far up in Canada?
Winnipeg.
Yeah, the Winnipeg Jets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like on another hemisphere.
Well, it's like
it's like almost like another continent or something, right? Isn't Winnipeg super far away?
Yeah, and then the Phoenix Coyotes, Arizona Coyotes, they're the Phoenix Coyotes, but they're talking about, attendance down, the team might need to move, and, maybe Houston be interested. And somebody's like, oh, why would you want them to go to a warm weather place? Quebec deserves a team. Who the hell is in Quebec City? I mean, give me a break, people. I mean, now, I will say, if you want to send them somewhere, Kansas City actually would be a good spot.
Yeah, Kansas City would love it.
If the Hunt family...
Chop, if you're listening.
If you're listening, get on the phone with Lamar Hunt and his
all your buddies
family.
that you know over at over the Chiefs organization. All the guys who hang
daughter.
out.
Have you seen the daughter, Miss Hunt's daughter?
No.
Oh, that's a good pull up when you have
Lamar Hunt's not Lamar Hunt's daughter, his granddaughter.
No, it's his daughter.
Oh, okay.
Even though he's older, I mean, his wife's like 20 years younger. He's
makes sense. Okay, life. Yeah.
But yeah, his daughter's like 21, 22. What, did you just pull it up?
Just look at the picture. The picture just popped up. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Smoke show. Yeah. You want Kansas City barbecue? That's finger looking good right there for you. KC Masterpiece, as we call them out there in the Midwest. Yeah. Show me state.
Show me state.
I'm right. You can show me. So anyway, what?
No, I mean,
did I say something?
No, you're not wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. Gorgeous.
Goodness.
So, but anyway, back to hockey. Now I'm getting all hot and bothered. I need some ice to cool me off. Kansas City would be a great spot for a hockey team. I mean, look at Nashville, how they welcome the Predators.
We love our Predators.
Yeah, I mean the
Fang fingers.
Yeah, the fans and the crowds there are great. The people are excited about it. Every time I've been to Nashville, even when it's not hockey season, like it's all Predators all the time there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, man, I think Kansas City would be a good spot. Houston, I mean, nah, I'm not into that. Quebec, yeah, I'm not into that either.
I was thinking the other day, the national NHL, National Hockey League, right? Is that what that stands for? National.
Yeah.
So is it like, why are there why are there teams in other countries? I get it. Like hockey's more popular in Canada, and that's
well, it was like a merger or something. I don't know. I mean, I ain't really got into hockey till like mid 2000s. Yeah, I mean, it really hadn't been my thing that long.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I guess the NFL is talking about putting teams overseas, or at least that's what some people are talking about. So it wouldn't. I guess it's not that crazy to have teams in other countries, but it would be weird to continue to put more teams up there because, like, obviously, like to me, it seems like the fan base and the interest have grown in the U.S. so much. It's like, why would you not just give like one of our bigger cities, a team?
Well, I think what happens with the NFL, you have 8 divisions of 4, 32 teams, right?
Right.
I don't know if it's 10, 15 years. I don't know how long it takes. I don't think it takes that long. But I do think you end up with 4 divisions of 5 or 8 divisions of 5. I think you go from 32 to 40 NFL teams. And I think one of the divisions of 5 is all non-US teams.
Yeah, I've heard this theory before.
Yeah, so I think you get like 4 Europe teams and a Toronto, and that's a division, right?
Yeah.
And then so that's 5, and then
so they can all play each other, not travel.
Yeah,
so much.
your other 3 expansion teams are probably like a San Antonio, a St. Louis, and a like a second Chicago team.
Yeah. And you want Kansas, you want like Kansas to, no, not Kansas. What is it? Missouri. You want Missouri to get all the teams now. What are you talking about?
Well, look, I mean,
St.
Louis, look, the Rams, that dome's still in good shape, and they had a lot of people. I mean, they just moved because of the LA thing. I've heard OKC rumored.
OKC would be cool. They would love that there.
Yeah, but I think San Antonio is a better spot. I mean, they already got the Alamo Dome.
Texas already got a couple teams. They're fine.
Look, I tell you what, another one's Alabama. I mean, this USFL team, that's like the only stadium that's got fans in it.
Yeah, but what city? Birmingham? Montgomery?
I know. Birmingham's a little rough. Oh. God bless you people down there in Birmingham.
I mean, I drive through on the way to the beach, but I don't stop there long. You know what I'm saying? I have heard there's a cool scene happening in Birmingham. But I don't know I don't know if you put a team there. It is kind of sad. Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, all those teams on the southern side of us, they're all just kind of like, they don't really have anything, like no professional sports, No. Well, I guess the Saints, but that's,
Yeah, I think the next expansion team in the NFL will be the second team in Chicago. That I do believe.
Yeah, I could see that.
I believe that 100%.
Yep, they got a couple baseball teams,
and I wouldn't rule out San Diego getting back. I mean, San Diego with the Chargers was fantastic. Actually, they need to move them back there.
San Diego does.
I mean, LA does not need 2 football teams. I understand the population, but look, LA's like Vegas. Well, Vegas is much better than LA, but what I'm saying is there's so much to do.
Yeah.
In an LA, right? And you got UCLA, USC, the Dodgers. You are close to Vegas. You got the Rams. Like, yes, can they handle 2 football teams? Yes, but are like people in LA, you got the Lakers, the Clippers, they're not. I'm not trying to call out LA fans because they're not fair weather. But if the team's not really, really good, there's plenty of other stuff and other things to do in LA. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not going to come watch a 500 Chargers team.
No. But like people in San Diego will.
Yeah, the Rams better hurry up and get relevant again, or that stadium will be overtaken by the other team they're playing's fans every week.
Right.
Like in Washington. Because there's beaches, there's just too much to do in LA. They're not going to be as dedicated as those poor Jet and Cleveland Brown fans that pack the stadium every week, regardless of how bad the team is.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not going to be that way in LA. That's why the Rams left the last time.
You can always tell a fan base's loyalty with how well they travel, right? I don't know LA fans that are traveling to go see their team play in Buffalo or,
No.
Like some teams travel. Well, I guess it's not really fair because we feel like a lot of teams we play in Nashville, in Tennessee here, like they travel really well, but it's also Nashville. It's like everyone's like,
it's a vacation spot.
Of course,
it's a weekend getaway spot.
If I live in Buffalo, it's like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm going to Nashville. That sounds awesome because Buffalo sucks. So like, of course they travel well here. So I get maybe I get a little bit of a different view of it. That is not fair, but I think, you know, you can always tell a team, you know, a team's fan base by how well they travel. And you're right. LA fans are not traveling to go see their team. They're going to the game. It's a convenient thing, especially if they're good. It's a nice stadium, you know, and all that. And, you know, even Tennessee fans can be a little bit like that. It's like, we got a lot to do around here. There's so much we can do. It's like, we have a pretty devoted fan base, but it's like not the most devoted, you know, and we don't travel that great. So yeah, I think you're absolutely right about the LA thing. And yeah, I was, when I went to a Titans game, when they played the Chargers in SoFi, you know, it's just a different type of atmosphere. You know, it's like, it's a luxurious atmosphere, right? It's like, it's not like you're going there to, you know, to battle, you know, it's like I was, because I was like, let's friggin' win. Let's get, you know, but like the guy I was there with was like, he wasn't as into it as I am, even though he was a fan of the team. But it was just like, there's just a different level of like really being a fan of like wanting your team to win. So
yeah, it's not like going, and it never will be like going to Lambeau or Arrowhead or even Dallas, as new as that stadium. I mean, the Cowboy fans are passionate. You know, it's not going to be like that. Pittsburgh, right? Like LA's just never going to be that. So the 2-team thing, I never again, the Chargers belong in San Diego. I'm sorry. It's just where they belong. It works right. Why the city of San Diego didn't build the stadium. But you know, and to this day, I still think San Diego was one of the top 3 Super Bowl destinations ever.
I went to not to the Super Bowl, but I went down there for the Super Bowl experience. It was really cool. It was
I mean, I've always wanted to go have a vacation in San Diego. I heard the beaches are great, and then you got what is that, Del Mar's right there, the racetrack?
Yep, the racetrack, Del Mar. Yeah, my parents used to go all the time.
Padres tickets are probably really cheap because they suck.
We'll get to that in a second.
So yeah, I would love.
Petco is cool. Petco is really, is that still what it's called? I mean, it's a cool park. It's just right downtown. You know, there's got a lot of cool amenities to it. So yeah, San Diego is awesome. It was
weird when I went to the Dodger game last year. Like, the Dodger Stadium is like in the most random place ever.
Dodger Stadium?
Yeah.
Chavez Ravine? It is kind of weird.
Like, yeah, how it's up on the hill, but it's like away from everything. Like, there's cool. Nothing.
Yeah.
No, it is cool. The stadium was great. I mean, there's some big.
It's historic. It's like going
there's
to
some big mice running along under your feet. But
no
nothing like
though.
those possums they got in Oakland that are birthing baby lions. But yeah, Dodger Stadium was cool, so I could get down with that. Angels Stadium, I went there last year. That was really nice.
I went to a lot of Angels games. I went to more Angels games. So I like that stadium. Yeah.
So yeah, I want to go to San Diego.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
I'm all about it.
All right,
but they need a football team. Get them back in the NFL.
We'll work on it. We'll get it there. All right. Speaking of MLB, got some, let's just run down the standings here a little bit. Well, maybe not run down all the standings, but American League East, we got Tampa Bay up top. Man, they're playing so good right now. I know they had that rough a couple days ago, but
the bullpen, everything, they're in a zone, man.
Yes,
they're in a zone.
In this AL Central, we got Minnesota up top, 26 and 24 record, and then Texas Rangers in the West. On the National League, the Braves are top at 31-19, also a really good record and playing very well. The Brewers, to your point, John, I think we lost that game tonight, so they are still leading this NL Central, and then in the West, the Dodgers are top 31-20. So takeaways from MLB right now. I know we're kind of in the thick of this, regular season here, but what are your reads on everything?
Well, I can't pick winners right now. Tampa Bay, they'll get in the playoffs. I'm not convinced they're going to win the division, right?
Really?
I like this Baltimore team, man.
Okay.
I really like this Baltimore team. The Yankee, I think the American League East gets 3 teams, right? I think they get the Rays, the Orioles, and the Yankees. I'm still not out on Toronto, I think they got a lot of talent. Only one team's coming out of that AL Central. I told you that division stinks. It's probably going to be the Twins by default, or it should be the Twins. And then in the West, I think you get the Rangers and the Astros.
All right.
Rangers are playing really good ball. If they can get Seager back healthy and DeGrom back healthy, Texas is a very, very dangerous team, in my opinion. I mean, I think they're a very dangerous team.
Okay, gotcha. Aaron Judge been on a bit of a tear lately. He's actually,
like 9 homers and 9 or something like that.
Yeah, and he's only tied for third with 14 homers in the season, and which doesn't seem like a lot, but given what you look at the last 9 games or whatever that span is, if he keeps it, didn't he hit a home run like on day one, like the season opener too?
Yeah, I mean he's been. I don't know why you're still pitching to him. I mean, he's literally, well, not just him. Anthony Rizzo's been pretty phenomenal as well. But why you're not pitching around those two guys is beyond me, to be quite honest with you. I mean, it should be like a duh. You know what I mean? Like, why are you pitching to those two guys?
Right. Cool. Well, hanging for MLB, we got. I would say that's probably our strongest right now, right, John? As far as
even with the Brewers' loss, we're like 10 games over. But it's been the hockey that's killed us. I mean, the hockey 20-25, but really down like 5 games under, but it's really like 13 units because of the juice. That's what's really killed the whole thing's been hockey. Look, baseball. I know everybody's frustrated, but baseball, I'm still going to finish 40 to 80 games over, before it's all said and done, and 40 to 70 units over before it's all said and done. It's just been a rough go. Hockey's just, look, there's a difference when you start off the season, the April 1st, quote unquote, I say. It's different when you start out last year 27-10 in the NHL playoffs, 13-4 in the NBA playoffs, and then you flip that around. This year, you're 20-25, down 5 games, but really down like 13 units because of juice. And you're 10-12 in the NBA playoffs. Like, your start is much, much rougher.
Right.
Just means I'm going to have to be really, really good in baseball. We were phenomenal in football last year. Absolutely phenomenal. Over 100 games over.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to duplicate that again and then some. So it just means I got to work harder, man. That's just what it is.
It's what it is. And I know you put in the work. You always do. You spend.
Yeah, I mean, it's May 25th. I mean, I get it. People are losing money, but so am I. But again, you're 2 months into a 12-month season.
Right.
If you want to jump, by all means, if you can do better, go for it. But I can just tell you where we're going to end up. So
don't leave before football, because that's where I think some good money is going to be. A lot of ground's going to be made up, and also some good money is going to be made.
A lot of ground's going to and be made up in baseball. Again, it's a grind. You got to be really good to pick winners every day. And, and on top of that, bad stuff happens, right?
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Let's jump over to NFL real quick. I mean, OTAs have started. It's kind of nice to see some veterans back out on the field. Of course, we had rookie mini camps, which was cool to see some of the recent draft picks come out and show what they got and give some love to the press. But when it comes to OTAs, and again, these are optional, right? Like, these are not mandatory, but we still are seeing a lot of veterans get out on the field and be able to kind of mix it up with some of the rookies and start to, get them downloaded on some stuff and obviously keep their bodies in shape. And so we have folks like Aaron Rodgers out there, although he's out with a calf strain. Good to see some of the folks on the Tennessee side here in Nashville. Ryan Tannehill's out there. Derrick Henry, saw a photo of him walk out yesterday. So, it's been cool to OTAs to see. But it's like with NFL's, there's never the off season really. There's always something that we're looking forward to. Right now, it's
never an off season.
Yeah, seeing these guys get back out on the field. So, anything else notable from OTAs you're seeing that? I know the Rodgers injuries is kind of interesting, but it's good to see him out there at least.
Just a calf strain, but I mean, are you surprised he's out there?
I mean, being a new team, I'm not. I would assume he'd want to be, as quickly as he can to get kind of, up to speed with everything, and also on the same page as his receivers, young receivers that are probably there, So, I probably give him more credit than you do. So I'm not surprised to see him.
That's your guy. That's your guy. I do have to say though, I'm a man that can admit when I'm wrong. Just like I do when we have losses. I can eat crow. I'm really impressed with how he has been there for the young receivers so far. I mean, he's been there every day. He's at Knicks games. I mean, now don't get me wrong. The guy's eating the attention up.
Oh, he loves it. Yeah.
He just, that poor guy. All of his pants got a permanent bulge from the hard on he's got with all the attention, because that's what he lives for. But with that being said, I do have to say I am impressed by Aaron Rodgers. Now, Lamar Jackson finally showed up today.
Oh, did he?
And man, this guy's calling his shot. He thinks he's going to have a Pat Mahomes type MVP year with his arm. And I'm not saying he's not capable. And the Ravens did the right things, right? They got Beckham. They drafted the young kid out of Boston College, who I really like, if they can keep Bateman healthy. But there's a lot of ifs there.
Yeah.
When you talk about health.
Yeah.
So, and even Lamar hasn't played a full season in a while. So, I just wonder, I still don't think, no matter how great he plays, I don't think they can overtake Cincinnati. And I think Pittsburgh is a very legit contender for a wild card this year. I really do. I like what they did towards the end of the year. I think they have a legit chance to get in this thing. And so I'm just
love you some small hands Kenny Pickett, huh?
Small hands Kenny Pickett.
You're all about it.
He's got the hand pump warmers going, so he'll be all right. So I'm just curious at, I guess, what this looks like. I just don't know if Baltimore, I don't know if the hype is warranted. I guess that's what I'm trying to say in short.
No, look, you're talking about the injuries. That's obviously a concern when it comes to Lamar. And, they have a decent running game. They always have, and their defense has always been pretty good. And Harbaugh is a great coach, but honestly, from the last couple of years, and until Lamar can show that he can win consistently in the playoffs. I'm not saying he's never won in the playoffs, but he can win consistently in the playoffs and step up to those big moments. He's really fun to watch. He's a great player, but I
love watching Lamar.
But until he can do that consistently, I don't see how they get past Cincinnati. I could be wrong. I don't see it this year. Glad he got paid, right? Glad he got the bag. Good for him.
Oh, yeah. Anybody can get the bag. Look, I'm still looking for one.
I just don't think
I am willing to sell out for the bag at any point in time. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah. Good for you. Glad you got it, but I still don't think you guys are going to be that good. I think you'll always be, they'll always be in the mix. They'll always be in there, but I kind of agree with you on that one. What about the Cowboys? How are we looking with, Dak, do you feel like, Dak sort of, to me, has that kind of same thing that Lamar does, where it's not as a dynamic as a player to watch necessarily, but, it's is confident, is so confident that he's the guy that, Jerry Jones confident he's the guy. And it's then, they just show up to the playoffs and S the bed, and it's what
Dak and the Cowboys will never, ever, 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 ever sniff an NFC championship game. Forget winning it. Forget Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And look, here's what I'm going to start saying. I'm going to start for Break the Board. I'm going to start saying, this is your host, John Cole, for your daily Break the Board, where we refuse to shove the Cowboys, Yankees, Lakers down your throat when they're all irrelevant.
I love it.
That's going to be my new intro.
God.
What do you think of that?
I love it. Because that's how that's one of the main reasons I hate ESPN.
We're going to talk about the Houston Texans.
Yeah. Yes.
Not really. I'm just kidding, folks.
No, I mean,
but yeah, Dallas isn't going anywhere. They're not. Listen, I will be shocked if they make the playoffs.
Yeah,
because this is what they do.
I think
they'll have a good year, and then they turn right around and have a pissy year. I mean, they're like Anthony Davis. They can't put how he can't put 2 games in a row together. They can't put 2 seasons in a row together. So I don't think. Listen, we always, it's easy to look now and say like the Eagles are going to run away with it. I think the Eagles are going to take a step back, even though the NFC stinks. And San Francisco will still be in the mix because they're San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's saying, there's too much hype over Detroit. I think Detroit's going to be fine. I think the Giants take a huge slide back. I don't think the Giants even sniff the playoffs either. And I think you're going to have some teams emerge. I think Derek Carr is going to change things in New Orleans as long as the coach doesn't get in the way. I'm not a fan of him. Seattle, Gino's got to prove it to me again. But like, I'm not like so sold on this thing where like Dallas is this great team. And I don't understand why everybody is writing off the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, there was a thing that the one channel today put up. Kirk Cousins had 8 game-winning touchdowns past year. As much as we down Kirk,
you and the Vikings. Here we go again.
As much as we down Kirk the Squirt, their problem was defense, and they get Brian Flores. So how are they not going to get better?
Maybe. I still like Detroit. I mean, I'm with you on Detroit. I like Detroit better this year than I do for the Vikings for that division.
I mean, that's just me. I mean, but heck, what do I know? I mean, I had the Milwaukee Brewers tonight, so what?
Well, I mean, and what about the Packers? Right? Everyone, I think
they're an 8-win team.
I can't understand. Maybe I'm missing something with the Jordan Love thing. Not Jordan Love. Why do you keep calling him Jordan Love? Is that his name? I feel like that's the basketball player.
No, Jordan Love. You're thinking Kevin Love.
Kevin Love. Goodness gracious. Yeah, Jordan Love is, I don't know. Like, he hasn't really proven it. Like, I don't see how the Packers are even that good. 8 wins.
Well, okay. If you're going to say that about the Packers, I don't see where everybody's talking about the Bears could win that division. I mean, I don't see a path for them to get over 6 wins. I don't understand where this love affair is with the Bears.
Well, Justin Fields, I think, is progressing. That's the thing. I don't see that with Jordan.
Really?
I think so. I
must have been drunk all season last year.
Well, I mean, look, I'm not saying that he's coming out like Jalen Hurts or anything, but I'm just saying like he looks like he's on a path to get better year over year. Maybe I'm just buying into the hype. I don't know. Not saying he's going to be MVP or anything, but I'm not, it's not like what I saw from him made me go like, he's not the guy. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not on I can't get on that train. I can't get on that train.
All right. Well, just don't get on it then. Just jump off.
Yeah. Jump on it. Jump on.
So that's it. That was it. Pretty much, we want to talk about the NFC for sure. So we kind of just ran it down. Did we miss anything on that?
Tampa
Bay.
Tampa Bay blows.
Yeah,
I like the Eagles. I like the Niners. I like the Lions. Those are my 3 division winners. Well, we got 4 wild cards in. And again, I have time to change my mind. It's May 25th. My wild cards, I like the Vikings. I like the Seahawks. I like, it's 3 wild cards, 4 division winners. My other division winner is the Carolina Panthers with Bryce Young. That's right. Yeah. Well, why are you shaking your head? And I think the South gets 2 teams, Saints and Panthers. How about that? 2 out of the South, 2 out of the West, Niners, Seahawks. 2. I think the NFC East gets 1 team, and it's the Eagles.
Okay. Got it.
So Niners, Seahawks, Saints, Panthers, Vikings, Lions, Eagles. God, that doesn't even sound right, but we're going to go with it.
I will say, and until I see it, I'm not sure I buy into the backsliding of the Giants.
Danny Dimes, you're gonna ride with him?
I'm not saying I'm gonna ride with him. I feel like,
I mean, Saquon still hasn't signed his franchise. I mean, he wants out.
That's a big part of it. But they got Jalen Hyatt, and he's freaking speed demon, dude.
My God.
I'm just saying it's gonna help Danny, Daniel Jones a little bit to have some more help.
Daniel Jones sucks. That guy sucks.
Okay,
he doesn't have a good quarterback. But listen, Dable can listen. I think Dable's a really good coach. Yeah. You can only do so much at some point in time. Like, again, this is a copycat league. Everybody's had all season to break this cat down. If you think they're going to let the Giants run the football and all that stuff, you're crazy.
All right.
You're crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he's going to come out and light the world up. I'm just saying that, like, I don't know if they take a big step back, but I don't love the Daniel Jones. Like, they just really are into him. Like, they just really believe in him. Same thing. I guess it's the same thing for me with like the Jordan Love thing. It's just like, I don't see it, but I mean, I don't know if they take a big step because Dable's got that team dialed and you really got him behind him. So I don't know. We'll see. Well, I like your predictions though. I don't think you're way off, but I could see a couple other teams maybe slipping into contention.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. And the AFC, I can't even think about breaking that down because it's loaded with good teams.
It's too good. Yeah.
I got to get through training camp and then I'll listen. One thing's for sure. Again, no division winners. I'm not even going to go down that road. But I'm confident about 4 teams. 4 of the 7 spots I'm comfortable with, as everybody is. So it's not like a bold prediction. Chiefs, Jags, Bills, Bengals. Those are my 4 division winners. If nothing else, they're all 4 getting in. So that leaves 3 spots. But I don't even want to think about the 3 spots right this second.
Okay.
There's a lot of ball left. Lot of,
yep.
You know what I mean? But you think about it, with those 3 spots left, and again, I don't want to get into it right now. I haven't did any work, but I think the Patriots are going to be better.
Mm-hmm.
You obviously got Rodgers and the Jets. You got Tua in the 6 games he's going to play for the Dolphins, right?
Yep.
You got, what does the Raiders look like now with Garoppolo?
Yep.
What does Sean Payton make a difference?
Denver, yeah.
The Chargers, we know they're loaded, but they got 2 12-year-olds as coaches.
Staley, and
Pittsburgh on the come up. Deshaun Watson, does he take a step forward? Right? He looked, as each game went by, he looked better and better. Then they bring over now you got Elijah Moore, Amari Cooper, and Joko. I mean, Nick Chubb. I mean, the Browns got weapons. Nobody's talking about the Browns. Browns got weapons. Now you got the whole Lamar thing. I mean, listen, every team in the AFC is credible except for Houston, Indy, and the Titans.
How are the Titans not credible?
I mean, are they better than any of the teams I just listed off?
I don't know why I'm not saying that. You're going to put them in the same bucket as Indy and Houston?
No, okay. So all right, just because you're on here and I love you like a brother, everybody's credible except for Indy and Houston and the whole AFC. Is that agreed?
I agree. Yes.
Now, that doesn't mean everybody's going to finish 500. Like, they're all playing each other. So there's going to be some teams there that only win 4, 5, 6 games, but that don't mean to start the season they're bad teams.
No, I mean, even Houston, right? I mean, not to say that they're going to come out and be amazing.
They were in a lot of ball games last year, man.
But, you got the new coach and you got some stuff, some good stuff you picked up in the
Stroud coming out.
Yeah. So, I mean, If anything, everyone seems to have added pieces that are, in the whole AFC, like, looks like that have made them seem like they're going to improve. You can pretty much say that for every team. Now, how it all plays out, we won't know. But yeah, the AFC is loaded. It's crazy. It's just nuts. So, all right. Well,
yeah, I mean, one thing's for sure. It's all AFC all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, what do you got for the betting, John's betting corner tonight?
John's betting
wisdom,
corner.
You want to?
No, the only words of wisdom is, I got a couple texts while we were on here just now because I lost another game. Is again, man, if you're looking for a magic pill, I've never tried to say that's what I am. But I will tell you where I finish. And the problem is everybody wants it now. And everybody wants to talk about the losses. Nobody ever wants to talk about the wins. Right. And so, again, if you truly want to make money in sports betting, you can do it, but you got to pick way more winners than losers. I get it. Past 2 months, I haven't did that, but over the course of 12, I always do. And some of these guys, I just shake my head because they've been with me since October, and I know I've made them a ton of money. I know I have. I know what the record is. So, easy come, easy go, I guess. So, if you're serious and you want to be on board, hop on board. If not, and you just want to follow, hey, I'll try to give you all the tips, tricks, help I can. But again, hey, if you can do better on your own, God bless you. I support anybody. But you can't win them all, man. It's kind of like Mariano Rivera. I remember an interview and he said, somebody asked him one time about the homer he gave up the night before and the blown save. And he goes, what are you talking about? Well, the game the night before, he goes, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's the way you have to be at anything in life, whatever your job is or whatever. If you're just going to keep holding on to what happened the day before, you're going to have a pretty bad life, man. So you're never going to be happy. It doesn't matter how much money you win, how many winners I give you, or you pick on your own, or how many times you win the slot at your local casino, or what person you date, or it's never going to be good enough because you don't understand happiness or what the goal is, right? You're always looking for instant gratification, and that's just not a part of life, and that's not a part of sports betting. So, and people that say, oh, well, I lost this much. Well, you shouldn't have lost the same. It's the same unit size, right? So if you're betting $100 a game and all of a sudden you're betting 1,000, well, if you're betting 1,000, you should have 22,000 of a bankroll. So the only issue is, are we losing units? Not going to deny that, but you're just freaking out because the number got bigger.
Right.
Okay. So you can't complain about, hey, I went from betting 100 a game to 500 to 1,000 a game and then complain about, right? Because if you're following the money management, nobody has still gotten tapped out from the 20 units. That hasn't happened. Right.
Yeah.
So now after tonight, are we down 7 yet? Well, that would technically mean you still have 13 units at whatever you're betting to play with.
Right.
Before you would have to reload, and we're not even going to get down that far. And that's after a horrible 2 months. So again, I get it. Everybody wants the here and now, and they think you should win every night. And look, the only thing that's going to happen by not following or jumping off, you're going to keep going to jumping from service to service to service and picking on your own. And some of you will find success, but the rest of you will unfortunately continue to lose because you can't be patient. That's just what it is.
There you go. So it's all about patience and grind and management, money management. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. And you would say, oh, you're just trying to sugar. Again, I'm not sugarcoating. I'll tell you right now, we've lost 12, we're 13 units down in hockey, up 9-ish in baseball, 4-2. Yeah. So we're down 7 units for the year, 7-8 units on the calendar year. So I would just pose to flip it back, AJ. Anybody that has stocks or 401k, Anybody, can you even imagine this in your mind right now? Calling up your 401k or calling up your stockbroker and saying, you're fired. I want you to refund me all my money back, even what I paid you, even though you made me money in the past, because the past 2 months have been horrible.
Yeah.
Would anybody in the United States of America do that?
Well, probably, but the person on the other side of the phone would just laugh at him and be like, you're an idiot, now get out of here. Because
So
you knew
again,
the risks going in. You chose the risk.
Yes.
I explained it to you very carefully when we sat down and I told you where I was going to put this money for you. And you knew the risks. And, you know, caught at a bad time. Usually things are up, things are down right now. So, you know, I think if someone demanded that, which I'm sure there's people dumb enough to do, probably just get laughed at in their face. So
yeah, I mean, again, I would have to be down 20 units over the course of time, which I'm still not.
Right.
So you're not tapped out. Now, are you getting nervous because you've lost? Heck yeah, you've lost. But it's again, it's funny. I get all the congratulations until it goes south. And, you know, the other thing I thought about this too, and I don't want to elaborate too long, but, you know, I got a couple guys that bet 1,000 a game that signed up with us, right? So they did the yearly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they did the yearly up front. So if you did the yearly up front, it was like 25. Do you realize I only got to be over 3 units for the whole calendar year for them to net $500?
Because of how much you're betting. Right.
Just, you know, throwing that out there. And the price never goes up, right? But again, there's a price that comes with that. Not every month is Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So
not everybody can afford $1,000 bets a game either. So
no,
that's where you go.
I mean,
to your point, you need to. That's where you want to get to.
Yeah.
Because,
so well, let's break it down to be fair, right? Again, let's just break it down to be fair. For you to break even, if you were a $50 player, I'd only have to be 50 units up for the whole year.
Yeah.
13 years in a row, I've been 150. Last year, we were 288 or 283. Sorry. Game's over. 288 was the high.
Right.
Just think about that. So, again, I don't always know the path of how we get there, but, you know, you either got to want to make money or you don't, man. And that's just not here. That's every phase of life. There's risk involved, and there's you got to go through a lot of bad times to get to anything good. There's nothing that comes easy in this world. If it did, nobody'd have to get up and go to work tomorrow morning. So that's my speech. Sorry, that was very deep.
No,
You know.
I love it.
Hey, I'm not going to lie to anybody or shy away from anything. Like I said before, I'm not for everybody.
Not for everybody.
D, that's all, folks.
But you do root for everybody.
I do root for it. Hey,
we do
when
root
I
for
win,
winners around here.
When I win, you win.
We all win.
There you go.
Well, thanks for that, man. That was good. No, I think it's important. You know, a couple little nuggets, and not just in sports betting, but life lessons in there, which is good.
Yeah.
So, that's the whole show for tonight, guys. Like I said, we're going to keep on bringing this to you once a week. We might change that cadence here and there, but for now, John's going to do the break the board. Each episode is going to come out before noon every morning. John, thanks for getting up early and doing those. I know it's a very labor intensive thing, and it's cool that you get to kind of open the hatch a little bit and show, you know, the winners how you're thinking about each of these games. And that's exactly what Break the Board does. So if you want all things sports betting and gambling for the day, for the slate as it's broken down, that's what Break the Board is. And then Bustin' Chops, we'll talk a little bit of gambling, but we'll also talk, you know, kind of the news and the stuff going on around the leagues as they're happening. So Chap should be back with us. I guess he won't be back with us next week because he'll be gone on his trip.
Yeah, he'll be gone like 20 days or something crazy.
He'll be stuck
like
with
that.
me for a while, guys. He'll stuck for us. So, but yes, we also would really like to get these listener questions in. So if you guys can tweet
Absolutely.
us at BCCS Sports, listener question, or you can shoot us an email, info@BCCS Sports. And we would love to start reading some of those on the show. That'd be a fun little thing to add. And don't forget that you can check us out on YouTube at BCCS Sports as well. And if you're already watching on YouTube, thank you guys. Head over and click subscribe on the podcast. That would be super helpful for us as well. This show is also brought to you from Bet Online. Just wanted to remind you guys of that. Thanks for our sponsors, and thank you for Believe for obviously having us on their network and being a part of that great team over there. So until next time, guys, we will see you next week. And John, we'll see you.
Love you, my winners. See y'all in the morning.
All right. Take care, y'all.